Well, Ghanaians woke up today to a report of a research done by the Governance Research Bureau that is telling us that come December 7th, when Ghanaians go to the polls, we will not elect a president in the first round, that we are going to have to go to the second round. Now, resource persons of the Bureau are here with us, and we want to find out from them exactly what the science is behind this study and whether we can believe and trust in the figures they are putting out. Now, with me to do this discussion, first is Dr. Ezekiel Norte, who is a senior lecturer at the Department of Statistics and Actuarial Science at the University of Ghana, and who is also a resource person of the Bureau, the body that is responsible for this study. Doctor, you are welcome.
Thank you.
You are saying that on December 7th, we cannot have a president?
That is what the research points to.
And if I may ask, what is this research? What is it all about?
Well, let me just roll you back and then tell you the genesis of why we conducted this research. You know, people have been doing polls pointing to a fact that candidate A is winning, candidate B is losing, and so on and so forth. Behind that, we as a bureau thought that, well, we've conducted research, we've collected so much data already. We have EC certified results. What do we do with it? So we sat down and we said, well, using the previous election, certified election results, we can at least come out with a model that could confidently predict who will be winning. And that is exactly what we did.
And you are saying that we can rely on the results that you came out with?
Yes. As a statistician, I will tell you, anytime somebody fits data to a model or fits a model to data, there are two things you look out for: the reliability of the data, and then two, the validity of the data, and then three, whether the model is predicting the way it's supposed to be.
Okay.
And these are things we checked with our model, and they are all in the rightful.
Now, I hear you talk about model. The little I've read about your report is saying that what you use is the generalized linear model. Exactly how does it work?
Good. I'm sure when you went to school, you did a little bit of a straight line and stuff like that. Yeah. Anytime we say something is linear, it's in a straight line. So we're saying that this generalized linear model, what it does briefly is that you have a dependent variable. That dependent variable for ours is the proportion or the percentage of votes that will accrue to the parties. Okay. That will be our dependent variable. Now we want to model this dependent variable based on past records. And we realize that there are two factors that account for that proportion. What are these factors? These factors are what we call the independent variables. They are the party themselves and as well as the constituencies. We could go on further to say that instead of the constituencies, you can look at the regions. But the regions would congregate the thing too much. So we're looking at specific issues that pertain to the constituencies and the parties. Okay. Obviously, if I pick a constituency in the Volta region, the current Volta region, and I tell you MPP is getting 50%, I'm sure you would take that with a pinch of salt.
To believe. Yeah.
Similarly, if I pick Kwadaso in Ashanti region as a constituency, and I tell you that NDC is getting 80%. You would doubt it. Good. So it means that these are factors that influence voters in this spatial way we find ourselves. And then we were also saying that, well, depending on the constituencies alone and the parties alone, there is an interaction effect. The interaction means that the kind of party and the kind of or the type of constituency will determine the proportion one would get.
Okay.
And so this was the basis for our model. And to tell you the truth, the model is 87% accurate in predicting the proportions that we got.
Okay.
And in each of the proportions, we also quantified the standard error. And you know the standard error is a measure of performance. So the standard error, the wider it is, the more unreliable your estimate may be. The smaller it is, the more sharper your estimates are.
Okay.
So when we come into the specifics, I will talk about the standard errors and why we have so much hope in the model that we've come out with.
Okay. Okay. Can we also now talk about how data was collected for this
for the study? Great. For us, we used only EC certified results.
Okay.
We didn't collect data. We never went to the field. And that is why we're saying that to get a holistic view, you need the quantitative, which is what we have done, in addition to qualitatives that would happen in the specific regions and at the national.
Okay.
We haven't factored that into it.
Okay. Okay.
So it's purely based on EC certified results, historical data from 1992 to 2016.
Okay. Now, if you also admit that you also need the qualitative study to validate somewhat what you have done, how reliable can we be using what you have done?
Yes, so our reliability is the standard errors we have given to you. So you have data, you have fit a model, and the model is saying this. You look at the standard errors, they are very much in line with good prediction.
Okay.
So you go with it. But that is why anytime you fit a model or you predict a value, you give bounds. And when you look at the study, we have provided all those bounds. I wonder if the other polls results that are coming, they come out with those bounds. I am yet to see one.
Okay.
You know, they just give you, oh, this party is getting this party is getting that. But beyond that, what would be the flip? If something untoward happened, we don't know.
Okay.
But we have specified that, for example, NDC is getting 48.28 with a standard error of 0.75. So you can do the plus or minus yourself.
Yeah.
We've told you what MPP is getting, and you can do the plus or minus yourself.
Okay.
And so we think it is also deepening our understanding of beyond the data, what else. So we are taking this as a template. And so you know that on the average, this is how much you should perform. So if vote count start and we tabulate and you are falling short of what you are getting, then you should know that you are losing the election.
Yeah.
Because it's like a pendulum. Once one goes up, the other is going down. Yeah. They are the two dominant parties. We can't do anything about it.
Okay.
So once MPP is doing well, NDC would be dwindling. In other words, if NDC is doing so well, MPP would also fall short.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
So that is how it is.
Okay. So in short, you are saying that this is reliable. We can go to bed with what you have done.
Certainly so. But anytime you give a point estimate, you also give the reliability, and so you can set confidence bounds.
Yeah.
Remember, our confidence bounds is such that NDC's own would not cross the threshold. However, when you look at MPP's threshold,
Very close.
it crosses, the upper limit actually crosses the threshold of more than 50%.
Okay.
So it is telling us that in the unlikely event that we observe the exact value, it is possible one of them can cross.
Okay. Okay. And that is talking about the NPP's 49.19%.
9%. Exactly. So when you do the 95% confidence interval, you have a critical value of 1.96. That multiplies 1.96. That multiplies the standard error to get the upper limit, which will be 50.6 something, which means that they are going beyond the average.
Virtually a week to go for
Yes.
the voting. And in recent discussions, what have come up would have been the issue of a third force, perhaps. But your findings doesn't point to any such thing as a third force. We virtually about 2% is what all the other parties are
All
doing.
the other parties aggregated is about 2.54%.
Did you come across rejected ballots as well? Sometimes we tell ourselves that is a third force in our elections.
Well, we actually did not. In this very instance, we used the valid votes.
Okay.
We did not add rejected ballot. But of course, it has been a bane for Ghanaian politics, and we need to work at it. On another sister station, we interrogated what can be done to forestall the occurrence of this rejected ballot. In fact, one of the discussions we had, we've seen that the EC has actually taken it, and we are so happy. This engagement is good because we said that if you have so many people vying for on the ballot, and they are so close, the possibility of somebody tampering into a second is so high. So the no man's land between one person and the other should be widened. And now they have done that. At least I saw a demo of and it was good. It means that if somebody thumbprints and it goes into the second one, then it was really intentional and not accidental. And that is good. We hope that will correct most of those.
We can all pray for that, because one other thing that is also good is that you look at the notice of poll, and majority of constituencies are being contested by maximum 6 people, which then makes the design a good material, at least to prevent the issues of rejected ballots and spoiled ballots and all that. But coming back to the study, you talk about the swing regions as well.
Yes.
Which is a very interesting discussion on its own.
Yes.
But now I'm looking at the figures, and they come a bit so close that it is not clear which of the parties are taking them. You go to some of the ones that you mentioned, Central, for instance, and I mean, previously at this time of the elections, you would think that it is clear which of the parties, the two major parties, are going through. But you have so close, 49% to 48 point something, and that close. What accounts for this? Is this the reality that the elections are going to be so tight?
Well, based on the evidence of the model, it means that it's going to be tight. However, like I said earlier on, there are qualitative data that could support whether it should go tight or it should be loosened. You know, so we brought this out so that the parties, in fact, what we do, these parties also do their internal assessment on all these things. Somebody just called me and he said, look, the 56 constituencies that we've listed, in fact, they have the same sentiments.
Okay.
That it could go either way. So they are constantly working on that.
Okay.
And you see, it's like the way we play football. There are 3 compartments or 3 departments in a game. We have the defense, which includes the goalkeeper. Then we have the midfield, and then we have what? We have the attack. If you are a good team, you should be good in all the 3 departments. You can have the sharpest, the Messis, the Ronaldos in your attack. If your defense is weak, you will lose the match. So that's the kind of thing we're saying. We're saying that this model is a template. Do well in your stronghold. Do well in your opponent's stronghold. Once you do well in your opponent's stronghold, you are what? Depriving them of their votes. So if they are getting 80% and you do well, you deprive them to get 70%. And then in the swing regions, which we call the midfield, you also dominate by getting more.
Okay.
And it's over. It's game over for you.
Interesting. Normally you would want to talk about who is behind this research. I mean, in terms of accepting the validity of it. Yes, who is sponsoring, who is funding this. Where has all this research come from, and who is behind it?
Yes, Governance Research Bureau currently funds anything we do. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't have any big funds somewhere, yeah. And so we're doing it at once at a time. Now that people are knowing the caliber of research we are capable of doing, okay. Maybe when we call on graphic will sponsor us.
Yeah. We'll be coming to an end. I mean, so we can also then delve into the politics of it. Mm. But you look at other studies that you were also referring to. Usually you would not have people put their faces behind the study they do. All you know is that there's a report out, there's no one out there defending it or speaking to it, but hey, it has come out in an institution. I'm beginning to think that your decision to come openly and defend it lends some credence to how much reliability Ghanaians can put in this. Are you saying that because it's a Governance Research Bureau which is independent of any political party we know in the country or any other institution, that these results, the findings that came out of your work, can be taken to the polls on election day and tell everybody that, look, this is what has happened from the study and we are going to prove at the end of voting?
We are just 5 or 6 days away, 7 days away from voting. I'm sure you will call me after on the 7th. I won't talk much. I'm sure you will call me.
So soon we've come to the end of this short interaction. Now what we have tried to do is to understand what this study is about and who is behind it. What we want to do next, which we will surely bring to you, is to go into details of the report itself, the study itself, and give you all the figures, all the permutations they are giving us that our historical data tells us from elections since 1992. And we will not deny you that opportunity. We'll come back to you certainly. Thank you very much.